and good morning. I am turning off my phone because people keep texting me already. They know it is 9 o'clock, and 9 o'clock, guess what? It means it's my time with you all. So therefore, I can't be on the phone right now. Trying to let them know. But anyway, good morning, good morning. How are you doing? Today is Wednesday already. It's already Wednesday. And I've had a great week. How about you so far? How about you? My week started with first, it started on Monday with you all. That was fun. I enjoyed it immensely. After that, I went and had the opportunity of working with some young diplomats from France. They could speak English. So for those people say, I didn't know you speak French. I don't. But in the event that I needed an interpreter, they always have an interpreter with them. But it was so much fun. They absolutely loved it. And here's what happens. Sometimes you don't realize it when you get a gift, or gifts. That's today's word. You don't even believe the excitement that comes in that package. It's delivered to you. And these young people were an absolute gift to me. Good morning, Joan. Good morning. How are you doing? Today's our word. The word today is gift, or gifts. I was just excited to see these young people. But here's what happens. Sometimes when a glitch takes place, had nothing to do with me, but for some reason, the room that we were given to utilize, the HDMI cord was too short for the computer to be able to put it up on the screen. So we did it all just the old fashioned way of the teacher teaching and the students learning. Oh my goodness, it was just such an overwhelming experience. In that not only did the students learn more about themselves, but I also learned from them about myself and the fact that I'm okay under pressure. I'm okay under pressure. So we didn't have a PowerPoint slide, but I had already printed out some things that I wanted them to use personally to come up with their own ideas. And they were their area was service, is what they wanted to look at, and how service would work with them and for them. So we dealt with that, and it was absolutely just a mind blowing thing. They came up with words. They came up with like 2 or 3 words that I didn't even know. I said, "Oh my goodness, I have to look those words up." But every once in a while, that's how we learn, through exchanging information and letting ourselves know that we're not at the top of our game, but we're in the game. We're in the game, meaning that we will go back and research stuff. So it ended up being a good session. But today I wanted to talk about gifts. And my opening question, which will always be, what I try to do is set the atmosphere for our discussion, is, what is probably the most important, special, appreciated gift or gifts that you've ever received or you currently have. um for me, I'll be honest, mine is life. That's my number one, life. Number two would be family and friends, and fun. Number three, would just be the amount of experiences that I've had. Even this experience that I'm doing, working with the diplomat, uh, the council, it's extraordinary to me, because so far I've dealt with so many different countries, and I'm saying, but I'm little old me, little old Sandy, little old Doc, little old Winnie, here in Pensacola, Florida, doing some things that has an international effect. And a student wrote something in, a former student that I taught through this. And I think I want to say that he was in the group that came from Mozambique, Malawi, and Ghana. And I was just blown away by what he wrote. But I'll paraphrase. The paraphrasing says that, to be in a class with this woman, speaking of myself, being in a class with this woman and watching her unravel us, to make us be, more conscious about ourselves was extraordinary. And that blew me away yesterday. And he was writing that on the thread that was talking about having just experienced working with the French students. So when you have anybody, if you're a teacher, if you're, a leader of some sort, and you hear someone give you feedback, be honored by it, stand up on it, and certainly acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. So anyway, today's word is gift. And so I found this poem online by Nicholas Gordon, and it says, "Thank you for the gift of life, for letting me be me, for all that I can know by words and all that I can see, and all the music I can hear and all the songs that I sing and all the joy that comes to me and all the joy I bring, for all the food that I can taste and the sweet scent smells and all the loved ones I can touch who love and wish me well, for all the beauty in the world ever fresh and new. I don't know whom else I can thank, and so I'm thanking you." So sometimes we have to thank who we feel has done things in our lives that has supported us and really looked out for us. Good morning, Sharon. How are you, my friend? Today our word is gift. That's the poem I was finished up reading. Beautiful poem. Absolutely beautiful, because it talks about sometimes, we don't even realize that we have gifts in friendships, that we have good gifts in the food that we are given, or the gift of actually seeing another day and being, in the life of hearing, moving, caring, loving. That those things are important. So I'm excited about this particular session, even though, I can look at it each time and come up probably with another set of words that still stand in on what I could put down. And that's one of the reasons why I work you all as well as working myself. I write them first, my words, and then I ask you what your words would be. And thank you for so much, because you all keep, by you chiming in, make it where I am considered a rising critical content creator. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So when we speak a gift, we really talk about it, but we have to ask the question, are we stuck? Are we stuck on giving gifts or waiting for a gift to be given to us? Some of us are. Some of us get very insulted if our birthdays go by and we don't receive a gift, a card, something, flowers, candy, a trip, something. To me, every time I get something from someone that I wasn't expecting, that gift, not only is it acknowledged, but I let them know how much it is appreciated. Even if you get a gift that you don't like, to me, the gift is the giving portion of it, because that means they felt enough about you, looked at you enough to believe that you deserved whatever they were giving you. So for me, gift is important, but it says someone without payment, a thing that is given willingly to someone without payment, meaning you don't have to pay them back. It was given to you. It's a present, And here's a time I keep seeing all these commercials of Christmas in July. And I think about not waiting. I'm a person that if I see something that I think someone will like, I'll give them to it now. My mother used to say I always used to spoil things, because whenever I would get her something, I gave it to her as soon as I got it. I was jumping up and down, excited about it. Where she said, but my birthday is until November. And so she said, yeah, you like a little bucket. You can't hold any water. You just have to give it to. I said, yeah, I'm excited. When you're excited about something, you're just excited. So I would be excited about giving my gifts away. So anyway, what is a gift? It says it's a present, a donation, an offering, a contribution. It's something that is bestowed upon somebody. It's an alms, a charity. We sometimes don't even really realize that people have given things to us under their concept of what charitable giving is, even though charity usually speaks to an organization. But sometimes charity also means that I see my friend over here needing something, I'm just going to take it over there to them. It's charitable. It can still be said it's a gift. It could be an award that someone receives or a bonus, that they were not expecting. It says an inheritance. I know several people that have received inheritances, and the thing about that is that they didn't. A couple of them said they didn't feel they deserved them, and I said you didn't feel it, but what the person that was doing the giving felt that you did. You just never know. You can't determine what others people feel are your gifts. I have probably some gifts for a few of y'all already, and y'all just don't know it yet. I first have to see it, so then I give out my gifts. It says you are a great, generous gift giver with your life and the actual gifts you give. Thank you so much, Gloria. I do owe you a gift. We share the same birthday month and week, and probably within two days of each other, and we always have celebrated for years now. But our busies have kept us from doing that, and we keep saying we need to do that because sometimes we don't even know. I don't want to miss too many opportunities to tell people that I love them and I care about them and I appreciate them, because sometimes we miss those things, and then they're gone. So I take every opportunity to do that. In fact, I was invited out yesterday, and the person's home I went to said, but I brought them some flowers. And they said, but you didn't have to. And I said, well, you know what? We were raised like this. You don't go to anybody's house and not take anything. So if I come to your house and I got something with me, just say, oh, that's just Sandy. That's Winnie. No big deal. No big deal. Something I wanted to do so that when in my absence, you remember that I was there. In my leaving, you said, man, look how special this was. It's just such a nice gesture. It's a nice gesture, and I love to do it. So that's my thing. They also talk about endowments being, of a wonderful thing that people receive, benefaction, a gratuity. How many of you have been truly served by someone, truly, and they're in a position where a gift would be nice, a gratuity? What it irritates me, I'm gonna tell you this right now, is that all you did was pour my coffee, and you're right there, you're standing right there, and you give me this thing, and it starts at 20%. It doesn't even start at the one time respectable 15%. It starts at 20%, 25%, 30%. And it's like, I know everybody's struggling. I get it. Hey, good morning, nephew. How are you, Lawson? I love you, guy. So you understand how things are done, sometimes if they treat me really well, I realize that the way, wait staffs work is that they're only given a percentage of what the minimum wage is, because the ownership of the companies feel that the rest of their money will be made up in gratuities. Not some people are not generous. Some people are, they're not going to do much of that. Genuine. Oh, I love that word, Joan. Genuine. Genuine is a great word. I'm getting my glasses too. Genuine is a great word. I love being genuine as much as I can. And it also talks about giving is another form of gift. Freebies. How many of you have gotten freebies? I remember being in undergraduate school and always looking for freebies. Why? Because we were broke. We didn't have any money. And I was one of those kids that was on a program that I wasn't supposed to work. I was supposed to study. I found me some work. I found work because I realized my mother truly didn't have any money to give that was extra. There was no extra. So I've made it my duty to, look for freebies when I could get them. Especially, they used to deliver these little packs to our dorm that had like small little things of deodorant and toothpaste and all those kind of things. I said, this is a gift. Where these come from? I mean, way back when they were even thinking of what those little things were doing to students that didn't have much money to look at, personal items. Who knew? Who knew? I would take one, I would be respectful, and I would, make sure that the other, students on my hall knew about them. And I said, hey, they have some of these down there. So there you go. Um, and then they have perks and sweeteners. Sometimes a gift is a sweetener. People are mad at you. You go get them a gift. Ha ha, turn it around. Sometimes it'll just turn around just because they said, well, all right, like I truly can't stay mad at people very long, Now I may stay away from you, but I'm not going to stay mad at you. And my daughter and I occasionally she'll get upset. I get upset with her because of something we didn't do that we expected the other to do. And we laugh about it. Probably about 5 minutes later, she said, hey, you want to go get a soda? I say, yeah, let's go. So we don't hold on to those things because to me, it just diminishes whatever else is so much more important. It takes away from it. So when we move further on in the word of this "are you" stuck word on your gift or your gifts, we move to give. To me, that's how it all starts. When you give something, then things happen, and to give something, it says it's freely a transfer of the possession of what you have to someone or something, handing it over to them. You're saying, hey, I'm giving you this, And so many times we miss the cue to say thank you. We miss the cue that we were given something that we didn't expect and sometimes maybe we didn't even deserve. But inherit, yes. Yes. Inherit is a great word because sometimes we do inherit things from people. And an idea, that's true. There's just great ideas out there on what to give and what to really look at. And it might be ideal for the person to have. I've seen some things where, I look at them and I said, oh, that's so and so. I got to get that. Like I can already tell you anything for Gloria, if it's pink and green and has a little style to it, that's Gloria. Gloria Clay, that's in our thread here today. So, after a while, what people may like or really appreciate it, or, you turn the smiles up on them just because it was something that you could give. So it talks about when you give something, it's presented with, whatever you're giving, you providing it, you're supplying it, you're furnishing it. And of course, it is a gift that you acknowledge it is given. And it says it can be delivered by hand, or you can send it in the mail. You can send it by email, In fact, I'm not gonna lie, I love Cash App. I really do, because a lot of times I'm too busy. And when I'm too busy, I say, hey, do you have Cash App? And because it goes direct to what's been set up through the banks, it works. And it's been a well acceptable process of transferring funds now. And most banks are on with that. I think there's Venmo, is that how you say it? There's that one, and there's Zelle. So they're starting to really show us that there's other ways of getting a gift to someone without making it a laborious, I'm going to walk it to you, going to drive it to you, or I'm going to mail it to you. I'm still waiting for something, and I'm not really waiting for it anymore because I told her it was just nice that she told me that she had sent something. But I have a friend that sent me something back in May, and I've still not received it. And so she said it's not been cashed and nothing's ever happened. So there you go. Hey, good morning, Rhonda. I'll call you after. Well, you call me directly after because I know I was worried about you. But anyway, when we speak of this gifts, it's the fact that, it's offered as our reward to someone. We want them to have it. It's theirs. It's something that we've granted them, bestowed them, given according to, something that we've donated. There's several people that I see their fundraisings. I donate. It's a gift, but it's something that I feel they can use because they're using it to give it to other students, or other people that are in need. They're in need. Um, Also, it talks about it being something that's been, bequeathed, or where. Have any of you ever given someone leave? I have. When I worked for the federal system, you could donate leave to others who had run out of their own leave based on sickness, or sickness in their family, somebody being sick. Well, I did that, and it was pretty cool stuff. Although I didn't feel that the person was very grateful because they turned around and did something that was negative towards me. But every good gift doesn't get a good reception. Plain and simple. You intended it to be good, but they received it, and it was good that they received it. But what they did after that doesn't necessarily say that that would be a good turn. In fact, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and one of the things I said that remained memorable in my own head because the Lord gave it to me. I said that every turn doesn't mean it's a good turn, but it's a learning point. That's when you learn. When you turn someplace and it's not a good turn, that means either you're going to turn away and not to turn that way again. So that's how life is. Sometimes we have to look at what it is that we're getting when we give something away and not expect anything in return. Not a darn thing. If it's given freely, that means you're not worried about what anybody does with it after. But you can acknowledge the fact that they can do things. I never had much time, otherwise I would have. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We have to realize the spaces that we live in are our own spaces, and someone may come in for a minute and take what you have, but that doesn't mean that they appreciated what you gave them. That's life. That's truly life. But when we move further on in the world of gift, my eye is for intentional. I'm gonna tell you something. If I give you a gift, I'm not worried about what you do with it. Now you may behave differently towards me if it was something that you liked, didn't like, or whatever. But it is what it is. But intentional mean I meant to do it. If I give you something, I meant to do it. Some people may give you something and they didn't really mean to insinuate or encourage anything beyond the fact that they gave you something. They may have met the moment of just saying, well, I did it. Okay. I usually am very intentional. I'm always, not even usual, I'm always intentional. When I give you something, I'm not worried about what you do with it. It is what it is. My I is for initiate. Okay. Okay. And sometimes we have to be the one who initiates whatever it is, because if you are intentional, you're not going to worry about what they do with it after you give it to them. What you gave it to them, that's theirs. What they do with it is okay. They can keep it, or they can turn it around and regift it. How many of you have regifted? Now, there's some people I've actually told them, this is a regift. I haven't used it. I already had two. I certainly wasn't going to give it back to them because, in a lot of other foreign countries, if you give something back that somebody gave to you and you give it back to them, especially if it's immediate, they're very insulted. So I try to use what people give me the best I can. But after you lived a long time, you have a lot of stuff. And so I share. But I let people know that, I'm not charging for it unless I say I'm going to do an estate sale or what's the other sale? I don't want the estate. Estate usually means a lot of times those people are already gone, but I would like to do a living estate sale one of these days where I would sell some of the stuff that, I just don't want to give it away, and I could take that money and use it for, helping others as opposed to just giving the stuff away. But that's a thought. That's a thought. You say, Joan says something is fundamental. Yes. When we do things that are intentional, I'm going to finish intentional first. It says where it was deliberately done, it was calculated, it was conscious. We made a conscious effort to do it. Done on purpose, intended, planned, meant, considered, studied, because sometimes we have to study what we're going to do. It was wanton, it was purposeful, it was premeditated, meaning you planned it out. How you're going to give it to them? You're going to surprise them. I saw a young lady the other day online, and I've known her folks for years, and she got engaged, and the young man got down on one knee, and I said, "Wow, he pre-did that. He had asked the father and basically set it all up that it was just a housewarming, but ultimately it ended up being that they had a housewarming and he asked her to marry him." Wonderful. That's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. So sometimes we have to look at how we are prearranged. Did we prearrange what we were going to do? And of course, all of it says when you're intending to do something, it's going to be voluntary. You don't have to ask anybody's permission. They don't have to ask you, "Oh, come on, Sandra." They may ask me like that, but it's voluntary if I decide that I'm joining in. It's voluntary. It says, I re-gifted. I get so much wine as gifts. I have to re-gift those. Absolutely, because I'm not a big wine drinker, and if I am, there's only a certain type that I like. So I agree with you, Rhonda. People come and they bring me, but they bring me what they think I like. But then I ended up having, several bottles of it. So, I've done that too. My F, and Joan had F as fundamental. I like that. That's a great word, fundamental, because I think when you truly are, coming from the vantage point of being a giver and understanding the significance of gifts, it is fundamental that you're there with the idea of how it needs to be done for you, what makes sense, what makes it in order for your process of giving or even receiving gifts. Mine is feeling. I put my emotion in it, my feeling. People sometimes give me this feeling that I just want to do something special for them. It shows my love, my kindness, my happiness. It's an emotional state of reaction. That's for me. That's what I feel when I think about a gift giving. And it says that I love people and I care about them. I'm showing affection as best I can. There's a fondness and a tenderness, warmth, emotion, sentiment, sentiment. I was looking around and there's some things that I've given, my daughter that were from my mother. And when I go to her place, I just look and I say, okay, generational stuff, because eventually I'll be gone and she'll be doing the same thing with, whoever she ends up being around. I don't know if it be little ones, but at least the legacy will live on a while. It will live on a while. Also, feeling is a passion, the passion that you feel, the ardor, and of course, your desire to just do something special for people you think deserve it. And I think that's wonderful. So that's my F. Did you all have anything besides Joan for the F? I think gifting needs to be fun. I think it needs to be fun, and sometimes it can be familiar if you know them. Especially if, like people are getting married, you may want to give them something that, is a little bit more like, well, now you're getting married, so you can use this or you can use that, this or that. It might be that they're celebrating a milestone birthday. You're reaching 50, you deserve this. You're reaching 70, you deserve that. So that's what I would say. I posted free will. Okay. All right. My F is for frugal. Ha ha. Frugal, frugal. Oh my goodness. Frugal means that you look at what you could give away, and you know, be a little stingy with it, because sometimes people are stingy, you know. Sometimes they need to be. There's probably a period when in everyone's life when they can think that they spent too much, bought too much, threw away too much money, time, whatever. And sometimes, to me, when I give a gift, um sometimes my gifts are what I do for you, not anything that I had to buy. I have a couple of ladies, and I've been doing it for years, that I just enjoy their company, but they've gotten much older now. So I will go by and sit with them, maybe take them flowers or soup, something, and they're just blown away. And I said, you know what? I love it when life is so simple, when you're not really asking for much, and you receive something that you think it just absolutely blows you over. And that's what these ladies say. It just that when they see me coming, and I'm gonna bring the armor. My armor is my smile, my hug, and whatever else I got in my little goodie bag for you that day when I go see you. So um, I just love the fact that there's so much in that. Feeling just has so many things to it: devotion and compassion, sympathy. If you go to a funeral, the gift of time. Yes, gift of time is significant. The gift of time. I'm with you, Gloria. That there's a song that we sometimes sing in our church called "Time is Winding Up." And it won't be long. When we think about that, the significance of that is huge. So I want to use my time as wisely as I can. And I feel like I'm running more now, like running with the bulls, which is real fast running, trying to outrun a bull, but keeping them off of you so that you're not in any way pierced by their horns, but running. I find myself, but it keeps me alive. It keeps me active. It keeps me involved. I want to be like my mother and my grandmother, who were 90, almost 95 and 96 when both of them passed away. But they were active almost up to the day that they left up out of here, you know. And they always got up every day as if they had a job. They weren't working anywhere. They were working everybody else. They were working, but not in the capacity that we were. But they treated their life. They were up at a certain time. Food, they already had their breakfast, their baths, they're dressed. They were downstairs, involved in themselves in the community and the community centers that they lived in. Isn't that the way life is? That's good stuff. I have to send gifts of cards. Oh, I love that too, Joan. I still am old school. Okay. We are old school when it comes of sending out a gift to somebody. I will send a card, and I love cards. Like there's a card group called Punch, Punch. If you ever find their cards on sale, buy them. They're very expensive, but they're beautiful cards. You cannot do anything with those cards but send them out or give them away when you go to various events. So rarely do I buy a card from the store. I will use one of those cards and write my own messages inside. Makes it personal. Once again, that's a gift, that I'm making it personal. When I move further on in my word after my last word, I really want to talk about the fact that what are you doing? What are you doing for yourselves in terms of your own gifts? When you think about life, we in that poem that I read initially, what we see, what we taste, what we hear, what's in our world, all of those things culminate to who we are. And we are people that give life in such a way to others that they see life in us. We make them smile. We make them, sad because we have to leave, or we make them joyful. We make them encouraged, just by our presence, just by the fact that we treated them for a moment to be special, you know. And being special sometimes in today's world is very hard because everything is done, electronically. It's virtual meetings and it's virtual attendance and it's virtual church, and it's everything has just shifted, you know, to people not feeling human touch. And sometimes human touch is what's missing. And touch doesn't have to be as much physical as it's close enough that it can be seen, so that I'm not necessarily in a screen. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from you being able to, use Zoom and all of those formats, to virtual formats, to be able to connect with people. Never going to take it away. And in fact, I believe it will. Those kind of things will increase instead of decrease. So it says, are done thoughtful. Amen, somebody. Okay. And treasure, treatment. Yes. So when we think of the T is treasure. I treasure all the gifts that I receive. I swear I do. Everything I get. And treasure to me can be, the gold. It could be, the chest that has, beautiful things in it that were once someone else's. The treasure could be the fact that I am, older now, and all the information that's in my head now that I didn't know before. That's a treasure. All of us are walking treasures through our associations with our relationships, our children, our co-workers, our family members, our spouses, our boyfriends, our girlfriends, all of those treasures. To me, every experience that we have in this life, it's a piece of something in your treasury, of goods, of bads, sometimes even of evils, and everything doesn't have to come out the chest. Let's face it. Some things are only for you to know and you to have experienced, and you to know what to deal with in terms of your going forward using your gifts. But I say that is my word, treasure with T. That's the T for mine. The fact that all of those things, all of what we are, is a treasure. I believe that all of us are treasures to each other. Every one of us, even if we don't like someone else, the treasure is knowing that person exists. That's information. That's a treasure. Can't do anything else with it but say, wow, that really exists. That really happened. That person is in this life. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But you are who you are. And so I say, really look at your own gifts, determine what you need to be grateful and thankful about. Give when you can. You notice I said give when you can. Don't let it hurt, but give when you can. Be intentional about what you give. Put some feeling in it. Go with your feeling. And last, let it be a treasure that you did it, and that in some instances you received something back from it, even if it was a larger heart. So I want you all to have a wonderful day. If you can make somebody a small gift today of something that they were not expecting, do it. Do it. On Friday, I will be back with another word of, are you stuck? Just asking some simple things, about life. Just understanding that we live in this life. We start with ourselves. We came alone. We're going to leave alone. But in the process of living, we have so many opportunities to be a gift to others. Use your gifts. I love you, love you, love you. Pass this on. If you don't do anything else, hit like, love. You can love me too. And pass it on. Share it. Okay? I appreciate you. Love you. Take care. I'll see you on Friday. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.